After CNN released a report alleging that gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson made disturbing comments on a pornographic site, we're hearing from voters and a former North Carolina governor.
The old I-440 bridge over Hillsborough Street is coming down this weekend. The impact you can expect to your commute starting tonight.
Summer weather isn't done with us yet. How warm it will feel. And WRAL's Futurecast has an update to the weekend rain chances you'll want to see.
Let's get started here. Tonight, former Republican Governor Pat McCrory calls out his party for not properly vetting Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. Robinson still maintaining he's not dropping out of the race. Thank you for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Dan Haggerty.
And I'm Ashley Rowe. This comes after that CNN report on graphic and racist comments linked to Robinson on a porn site. WRAL's Destiny Patterson heard from McCrory and also spoke to voters and a political scientist about how this report could affect the election.
A CNN report alleges that Robinson called himself a black Nazi and said that slavery should be reinstated on a pornographic site many years ago. Those allegations come just about a month before voters head to the polls. Robinson denies those claims. A CNN report alleges that Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson made offensive and graphic comments on a pornographic site years ago. The report dropped on the last day to officially withdraw from a ticket and just weeks before people cast their votes.
We are not getting out of this race. There are people who are counting on us to win this race.
Robinson called them tabloid lies. The state GOP underscored Robinson's claims that the allegations were not true. CNN didn't respond to a request for comment.
The Republican Party is in a really tough spot now, right? I mean, he is the nominee. He's likely to stay the nominee, but he is beyond damaged at this point.
Republicans don't seem to be taking a stance as a whole. Some are taking to social media using the hashtag #IStandWithMark. Others taking the opposite approach.
I think what's going to happen is people are deserting him.
On CNN, former Republican Governor Pat McCrory said the party should have done a better job of digging into his past.
This has been a ticking time bomb for several years now.
And he knew what his past would catch up with him.
Voters are also divided.
What he says does not match with his behavior.
If you balance it out, they ain't no better than he is. It's just, is he going to do the job right? That's my main thing.
A WRAL news poll shows that Robinson's competitor, Democrat Josh Stein, had a commanding lead over him in the governor's race before these allegations. The state GOP says that the left is trying to demonize Robinson with personal attacks instead of focusing on policy. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
Road crews will be busy working through the weekend on the Raleigh Beltline project. In less than 2 hours, they will close Hillsborough Street so they can demolish the old I-440 bridge. WRAL's Carly Haynes joins us there live. She's got her vest on. Want to be safe out there tonight. We're going to see a lot of detour signs this weekend. I guess that's just the cost of expansion around here.
Sure is. This is the part of Hillsborough Street that is going to be closed starting at 9 tonight. That means you can expect detours like taking this exit here if you're going to be traveling this way. Now, the old I-440 bridge, it's no longer in use. So traffic was moved to a new bridge a week after Labor Day. And after the bridge comes down this weekend, the next step is going to be expanding lanes of the current bridge to ease some of that traffic congestion. This area is one of the last parts of 440 that hasn't seen improvements yet.
So we're really looking forward to opening these new lanes, taking all of the construction barrels and the signs out of the road and just kind of wide open for folks to be able to travel much more efficiently and safely on 440.
The old bridge is going to come down in parts tomorrow afternoon. Cleanup from the bridge demolition will start Sunday, and the road will reopen starting Monday morning at 5. And this entire widening project is expected to wrap up by next year. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Now, if you drive the Beltline, all the road work, that expansion, we know it's probably pretty annoying, but I think you know it's for a good reason. There are development projects happening all over Raleigh. We talk about it all of the time. In just a few minutes, we're going to zoom out a little bit, go project by project, and talk about the larger cycle of city construction.
This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center, and Clayton police need your help identifying this man. They say that he walked into the Domino's Pizza on Business 70 last night around 7 o'clock, fired a shot into the air as he started to rob the place, went around to the back of the counter, took money, and then fired another shot into the air before he took the manager's cell phone. Say that the guy got away on foot, and they're trying to identify him. If you have any information, contact Clayton Police.
All right, Brian. Before you start your weekend, let's run through the big headlines of the day. Here are 5 things you should know right now. NC State's chancellor is reassuring on-campus residents that campus is safe. This week, WRAL reported the same cancer-causing chemicals found in Poe Hall were found at more than 20 other campus buildings over the last 7 years. Woodson stated the university will take and has taken action to ensure the safety of the community. WRAL followed up asking what those actions were for each building. We're told to submit a formal records request. The search is on for the inmate who escaped custody in Cumberland County. It's been about 24 hours since Daquan Hoffman ran off from Cape Fear Valley Medical Center. He was last seen at a nearby Motel 6, but when investigators checked, he wasn't there. Hoffman was arrested 2 days ago, charged with stealing a car. He was also wanted for kidnapping and had pleaded guilty to gun charges in 2019. The FBI is investigating suspicious packages sent to elections officials in North Carolina. This actually happened to officials in at least 19 other states. Some of the packages claimed to be from the United States Traitor Elimination Army. The packages did not contain any dangerous substances. And General Motors is recalling about 450,000 cars because of brake problems. It includes some 2023 Chevy and GMC pickup trucks and SUVs, including some Cadillacs. GM says the warning light might not come on even if you're out of brake fluid. You can get a free software update from the dealership. And finally, a quick 2-for-1. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly stopped in Raleigh today. He visited veterans at a downtown restaurant, campaigning for the Democratic ticket. Tomorrow, former President Trump comes to North Carolina. There's a rally scheduled at the Aero Center in Wilmington at 2 o'clock. The Associated Press reports Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson will not be at that event.
Today, Governor Roy Cooper officially said no to a bill that would expand school vouchers in North Carolina. This veto came down around lunchtime. The bill would expand the program by $463 million over 2 years, enough to address a large wait list of about 54,000 students. Republicans, though, are expected to schedule a session to override the veto in November. Now, I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that's exactly what's going to happen. That's what Republicans will do. They will use that veto-proof supermajority to override the governor, which I'm sure won't surprise Cooper at all. His veto was less of a legislative move as it was a moral statement on his politics. He thinks that expanding vouchers will hurt public schools. He thinks that money, the $460 million, should go to public schools, especially in some of our poorer counties, not the private schools. Republicans obviously don't agree. Their policy gives more families more choice for educating their kids. And you're saying, yeah, Dan, I know. That's all the news people have been talking about through this entire story. The morality of the vouchers, privileged versus not privileged, Republicans versus Democrats, something versus something. But let's take a break from the virtue for a moment, because these vouchers are a thing. They are happening. And I'm wondering how many of you even realize how to access them, what the right moves are if you want to take advantage of them. So let's concentrate on the X's and O's, the ones and zeros here, and discuss what vouchers could mean for you and your family. Send me your questions. Let me know what you're curious about. Send them to Dan at WRAL.com. I'll see what I can learn. And as always, tell me what's on your mind, and we'll go in depth.
You might drive around Raleigh and think, what's that crane? There seems to be a lot of them these days, not to mention traffic cones. Up next, we are getting a broader view of all the development going on around town. What will Raleigh look like in the years to come? And how much more change could happen? That's in about 2 minutes. Mike?
Well, we had a beautiful day today, high temperature 86, warmer over the weekend, and maybe some storms. I'll outline both of those topics in the forecast coming up.
Earlier tonight, we told you about the Raleigh Beltline Bridge demolition happening this weekend. This is the one over Hillsborough Street. The road will be closed there all weekend long while crews work.
Now, you've probably noticed, of course you have noticed, between the traffic cones and the cranes out there, expanding the Beltline is just one of many, many construction projects around town. We talk about development in Raleigh on the news pretty much every week, I'd say. Just this week, there were 3 really big ones.
Yeah, we told you about this plan to redevelop Moore Square, a $15 million project complete with a hotel, retail space, even affordable housing. Then we told you about the Lenovo Center, the new name for the home of the Carolina Hurricanes. $300 million to renovate the inside, new stores and restaurants, a beer garden, a VIP lobby.
So much redevelopment for the surrounding area that you see here, more like $1 billion project, new music venue, hundreds of new apartments, another hotel, and more. Construction on the beginning of all that's going to start next year. Then there's Red Hat. We've been talking about this, and the Raleigh Convention Center. They will redesign that amphitheater, add hundreds of seats, and then relocate it a couple of blocks down.
This way, the city can expand the convention center. $388 million to make room for more larger conventions. Construction should start next month.
Those are just the projects that have updates this week, right? These are things we just talked about because of those updates. Work is already underway on 2 high-rise towers near Dix Park. That's a $700 million project. These will have shops and apartments. They should be done sometime next year.
2 more towers are set to pop up on Glenwood South. The plan is to put them on the same block as the former Pine State Creamery.
And then there's the plan to revitalize Fayetteville Street. So they got these renderings, we've showed you a bunch, and they have a whole lot of ideas. No real concrete plans on that yet. We have heard this one before on Fayetteville Street. It's been kind of the subject of redevelopment several times over the years, and we're going to have a little bit more on that in just a few minutes.
So, have you been keeping track? You highlight all these projects on a map, and you can see just how widespread it is. And this is just a handful of them. Right. We didn't even mention the 540 completion, Six Forks Road expansion, the additions in North Hills, Cary, the list goes on. According to U.S. Census data, Raleigh is the 3rd fastest growing big city in the country, behind Atlanta and Fort Worth. The population grew 1.87% between 2022 and 2023. If you do the math, our producer, Miles, did, it's about 35 people per day. So, more places to drive, more places to live, more places to play. It's all in demand, right?
You might see the cranes and the cones and think to yourself, gee, this city sure is going to be great when they're finally done building it. But, here's the thing about building things. The more you build, the more people show up. The more people show up, the more you got to build.
Yeah, and all these projects are slated to be finished by 2030. And you can bet when this cycle is complete, we'll have another one already starting to crank up. Wow. Mike?
It's amazing. I look forward to all that development. It'll be cool around here, even cooler than it already is. Speaking of cool, not going to have that this weekend. Maybe some cooler weather around here by this time next week. I've been watching the live dual Doppler 5000 radar all afternoon. Most of the isolated showers have been forming off in our western counties. They are still there. They are falling apart within the next hour. I believe the radar will be completely quiet, and it should stay that way overnight. 79 right now at RDU. 86 was the high here, both at RDU and at the Fayetteville Regional Airport. Beautiful evening in progress. Get out and enjoy it. It's comfortable. 78 Fayetteville, 77 in Southern Pines, 79 at South Hill, 76 at Rocky Mount. Area high school football games have some nice weather, upper 70s right now, and through the games, mostly clear sky, if not completely clear sky, 70 by 10 o'clock, and hopefully your team will win. Now, that area of low pressure that we started the day or started the week with is now up here off the coast of New England, off Martha's Vineyard. Now, that will continue to move away. For us, we have an upper level flow coming out of the northwest, also a ridge of high pressure over the southern plains. That will build in, and when we have ridging in the upper atmosphere, that usually means warm weather. We had it today, have it tomorrow, maybe even the warmest day coming on the first day of fall on Sunday. Now, also with the ridge of high pressure, we talk about this all the time, in the upper atmosphere, around the top of the ridge, we see thunderstorms that form, and you can see them already forming here. They will follow that upper level flow. So what we're going to watch out for tomorrow afternoon is thunderstorms developing in this vicinity. They would follow the upper level flow and move into North Carolina. That's why we up the rain chance tomorrow tomorrow night to about 40%, and it's showing up on Futurecast, not only this run, but on other models as well. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., the model shows clouds. I've got mostly clear sky to start the day, mostly sunny skies at lunchtime, although the model would make you think there would be a lot of clouds. The model showed a lot of clouds this morning, and toward lunchtime, we didn't see that. So I think we'll end up being mostly sunny throughout the day. By 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, we see some thunderstorms across southern Virginia, some showers showing up north and west of Raleigh, and you see the streamlines that are coming in from the northwest. These storms would follow the upper level flow, so they would continue through the evening. Here's 10 o'clock tomorrow night. We see scattered showers and storms. Even by 1, 2 a.m., there's still some activity. In fact, more likely overnight, so you might hear the rumble of thunder tomorrow night while you're trying to sleep. Early Sunday morning, if you're an early riser, some of our southeastern counties could have some showers. We'll start the day with some clouds, but later in the afternoon, it should become partly to mostly sunny and perhaps reach the upper 80s. And if we had full sunshine, we would probably hit 90 on Sunday. So mostly clear tonight, 62 in Roxborough, 64 Southern Pines, 63 in Goldsboro. And then for the day tomorrow, hour by hour, it looks pretty good. By lunchtime, we're about 79, 86 at 4 o'clock. If you want to take the boat out to Nary Lake, you don't have to worry about thunderstorms tomorrow. Any outdoor plans, going golfing, going fishing, should be fine. 86 for us here in Raleigh, 86 Fayetteville, 84 in South Hill. And your 7-day forecast shows a greater day of warmth on Sunday, 87. Fall arrives officially at 8:43 in the morning. 79 on Monday. It's mostly cloudy. The next cold front comes in Tuesday, Wednesday with scattered showers and storms. And the dry air that was supposed to come in this weekend gets pushed farther off into the future, perhaps by next Friday. Less humid and cooler with 79 and mostly sunny skies.
All right, Mike, thank you. Hey, we said we'd mention the history of development on Fayetteville Street in Raleigh. Many of you remember when it used to be a pedestrian mall. So what happened? Let's go into the WRAL archive. We're back in about 2 minutes.
Well, what do you know? Another house collapsed into the ocean in Rodanthe. We have been waiting on this for days. It's not really a big surprise. The storm earlier this week had the waves crashing underneath 3 houses, and well, this one finally gave out. Now there is debris everywhere. People are trying to clean it up. This makes 8 homes that have now collapsed in that area over the last couple of years. North Carolina Congressman Greg Murphy wants to stop it. He proposed a bill about it. Today he wrote, quote, "The fact that homeowners have to wait until their property falls into the ocean before they can use insurance is ridiculous." And he's right. Flood insurance does make you wait. They won't pay to demolish or relocate any of these homes. We have gone in depth on Rodanthe several times and how this isn't just about storms or climate change. It is about money in a lot of ways. If you think that video is crazy and you want some more context, you can go to WRAL's YouTube page, watch these segments. I think you'll learn a lot about it.
For sure. We've been talking a lot about development this week, and that got us thinking about which places have gone through changes multiple times over the years. Look no further than Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh. These are the renderings for the planned revitalization.
If you've lived here for about 10 years or so or longer, you know this isn't the first time. Fayetteville Street used to be closed to traffic, open to pedestrians only. Then in the early 2000s, the city decided that needed to change. Here's a clip from a WRAL story in 2005, the last time Raleigh tried to spruce things up down there.
The hollow sound of a lone passerby's heels echoes through Fayetteville Street Mall, and that's just the problem.
Very interested in seeing what they're going to do because they need to do something. It's dead around here, and they need to improve traffic.
For several years now, the City Council has debated the future of Fayetteville Street Mall.
We feel like this project is going to be a vital cog in the overall scheme of bringing people back downtown.
The plan includes a new hotel and this. Converting Fayetteville Street Mall to just Fayetteville Street. The City Council recently approved putting cars back on the street.
The music in the background. How familiar? It's the same conversation. So here we are again. The road is open to cars, and once again, the city says the area needs to change.
I say with so many things, what's old is new again, right? Things go in and out of fashion. So before we go tonight, we want you to get a sense of what it was like on Fayetteville Street in those days. There used to be food carts everywhere. WRAL followed a hot dog vendor in 1985.
So we leave you with this, your Friday dose of nostalgia. Have a great night and a great weekend.
It's Thursday on the Fayetteville Street Mall in Raleigh, just minutes before lunchtime, and there are a lot of hungry people out there. But where are the street vendors?
Not here right now. He went to go get some mustard. He's got everything else here except he forgot the mustard today, so he had to go home and get some.
With only minutes to spare, Martin Thorne arrives with mustard in hand. It's a race against the clock to set up before his first customers arrive.
Ran into a bit of problems this morning. Forgot your mustard, huh?
Don't tell that. I'm getting in trouble now. These things do happen. It's just like anything else. You make some mistakes along the way.
Let me have $2 of mustard, ketchup, chili, and onion.
Martin is up against some stiff competition today. A new deli is opening on the mall, and free sandwiches are being offered to potential customers. Although Martin is charging $1.25 for his hot dogs, he says he's not worried about his pretty competition.
There's been a lot of vendors that have tried to come down here and make it, but they're either too grouchy. You got to have a lot of patience, because after all, you are the poor man's psychiatrist. You know, you get to listen to a lot of problems while you serve their hot dogs.
As the customers line up, both young and old alike, Martin splashes the mustard and ketchup on at a faster pace. He's a college student, and for him, this is a summer job.
This just helps give me a little bit of spending money and pay for some classes.
Is it enough to make a difference?
Sure, it can make a difference. You got a lot of customers.
But why do people flock to street vendors when they have a choice of going to a nice, cool restaurant for a meal? Martin says it's simple.
It's sort of a novelty, you know, buy your girl a hot dog from the hot dog man.
And apparently he's doing something right. On the Fayetteville Street Mall in Raleigh, Renee McCoy, Action News 5.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.